Hello, in this lecture we'll take a look at how you would access your elements. Okay, so how you will take a reference variable, and you'll access your elements properties, whether it may be some color, some style, whatever it may be, but usually it will be a value or its contents property, so you can take a value and assign it to another element. And our example is quite simple. We have a little box, input box, text box, whichever word you prefer, and basically we can input some text, say test, and then click a button and it inserts into a paragraph. Now let's take a look at how it works. This may seem a bit complicated at first, but it is actually quite easy. Now, having said that, there are more options to select your elements, but we will take a look at the most basic one, at the most primitive one, so that you have something to get started with. And basically what we have here is an input element, then the button, and then a paragraph. So 3 elements basically that we want to deal with, and then we have a test function. Now in the test function, what we want to do is we want to take these reference variables of the input and then of a paragraph. As you can see, variable p1 equals document. Okay, now this is how we access it. So we do document dot get element by ID. Okay, so from document we find that particular element with that particular ID, and as you can see in the actual element, the paragraph that we want to access does indeed have ID p1, and as you can see in the get element by ID function we have p1. The same goes for the variable input. Okay, input 1, that is. We have document dot get element by ID, and then we provide the ID for that element. So at that point we have the reference for those variables. In this case we are only looking at the retrieving of a value and setting the value. Okay, we won't waste time to look at anything else, and basically as you can see we have p1 dot inner text. Inner text would be inner text, and there is also inner HTML. Okay, so if you set it as HTML, it will read as HTML. Okay, it will implement those HTML components. If you do not do that and you want to perhaps display a piece of HTML code as a code, you want to do inner text, and in general you want to do inner text. Okay, so we have p1 inner text property of it, and then equals, we assign input1 dot value. Okay, so input1 dot value is the property of an input. This is very important to remember. Okay, so from input, if you want to take its value, you do dot value, nothing else, not node value, nothing like that, just simple little value. And after that we execute the test. Okay, the test on the click of the button. As you can see in the button we have on click. On click is an event, and that is how you assign something to a event. Now having said that, there are more options to do that, but this one is the most basic one. You simply do it in the actual element. So that is on click equals in the quotation marks whatever JavaScript code you want. In those quotation marks you have the JavaScript code, and you can execute methods, you can set variables, do all kinds of things. And with that we will conclude this lecture.